All right. Good morning.
Morning.
Here we are.
We are here. Welcome. You are now here at a live edition of Team Tuttle Realty. This is Coffee Talk with none other than Jody
Yeah.
and myself, Aaron.
Aaron.
And
That's
we together are Team Tuttle Realty.
That's right.
So if
That's us.
it's your first time here, again, welcome. So what we do is on Saturday mornings, we host a topic of the day. And that topic of the day sometimes includes an industry insider.
That's right.
And why do we do these industry insiders?
To educate you guys.
For sure. And of course, the topic of the day is a general education, but I like to look at it as the Wizard of Oz. I want to peek behind the curtain and find out what's really going on behind the scenes. What makes whatever happens in this world works.
Right.
So we always want to interview important and interesting people in this field so that we can get a good idea of that. And today's topic is going to be a good one.
Yes, I agree.
Tell us about it.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, the topic. What's our topic today? I'm drinking coffee. I can't do all the talking.
Our topic today is going to be about new home builds, and specifically, we have one home builder that's pretty prominent in Oklahoma City.
Very, very popular home builder here.
Yeah.
They've got a great reputation behind them. They're a lot of all about energy efficiency, well-built construction.
Yes.
And they even are throwing in some incentives for those looking to buy homes.
That's correct.
And as we transition this market, it's going to turn out, the experts are calling this now a builder's market. Why are they calling it a builder's market? Well, because inventory is low for like you and me selling
That's
our
right.
home and then you buying the home. So what happens is, and that turns the attention, okay, well then let's go to the new home builds. What's out there? And they've been sitting on inventory for a while because of the whole COVID thing, and then they had the shortage of this building supplies. So their world's been topsy-turvy. So right now, they're like, okay, finally, it's our turn.
That's
hey,
right.
let me show you what a new home build looks like,
That's
in
right.
today's day and age. So we're looking forward to getting into that. But first, let's do a real quick look on the outside, as we like to do.
This coffee's really good, by the way.
It is really good.
Yeah.
What are we having?
Baked apple pie.
Ooh, baked apple pie.
Yep. With my new Keurig.
And what mug you drinking out of?
Legacy Title. None other than Legacy Title.
That's right. We interviewed those guys in our last broadcast and to find out all about the title company and the process involved in that, because it's something you never hear about until you buy a home. And so it is a complete foreign subject matter to about 99% of home buyers.
That's right. Exactly.
Okay, so let's go into the quick look at the home mortgage rates.
Oh, did you look outside?
Yeah,
Okay.
I looked out there while you were talking.
Okay.
It's sunny. Nothing to look at.
All right.
But you know what? Some cool weather's coming. Fall's here. I know. It's going to be in the 70s next week. Oh,
Bait and switch.
can't wait. Okay, so here's the deal. Mortgage rates, they've been hovering around the 7%
They have,
range. And we talked about that a few broadcasts ago about where the rates were going. And again, we follow a lot of experts in the industry so that we can keep tabs on everything nationwide and also local.
That's correct.
And the majority of them were still saying we're going to hold in the low 7s for a while and then eventually come down next year a little. But then there's some experts that say, well, not so fast, hold,
Right.
don't get
No
too
one really
excited.
knows.
So no one really knows the future. The crystal balls are terrible.
That's right.
But they do their best guess, right?
Sure.
So anyway, that's where we're at right now. And of course, with home builders and
Yes.
just in general, when you do work with lenders, they can bring these rates down for you, depending on your credit. So you can buy points. There's other programs that they have
Yeah.
to help lower these rates a bit and give you a better deal.
So, yes. So always get with your lender and the home builder
So let's talk about
if you're going that route.
an amount of homes that have been sold in the last 7 days.
So last 7 days for Oklahoma County, 182 properties have sold and 195 have gone pending. It's still high numbers. Still more than new listings for the week that came on market. But it's still nice to see it's over 205 new listings. So that's good. I'm still liking those numbers.
Yeah, it's not bad. This is the end of the summer.
Right, which is historically and typically a lot lower
Yeah. So
to see inventory come on market. But people have to move. People have to buy.
yeah.
So
There's still people in
they're
situations.
still moving. And
You guys might be one of them.
That's right.
You had a life-changing event, job change, whatever it may be, and like, hey, you know what? Guess what? I got to sell the house.
That's right.
So-
Exactly. So call us.
Yeah. That's right. Numbers on the screen.
That's right.
Top right corner. Call, text anytime. Okay, so let's see. I think that's all the business side of
Yes.
things.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to do the fun part of this broadcast, and that's the interview part.
Let's bring on our guest,
Yeah. So who is our mystery guest, Jody?
Levi Fox of
Levi
Home
Fox
Creations.
from Home Creations. Hey, Levi. Good morning.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, Team Tuttle.
Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. What a better way to start this Saturday off.
Right.
Bright and early.
I hope you had your
Right.
coffee.
Yeah, y'all got me out of bed today.
Oh, I can imagine.
This is my first cup, so I'm behind the curve.
All right. Oh my gosh. So tell
I
us a
want
little.
to-
Uh-huh.
I was gonna say next Saturday when you guys do this, I need to get you guys some Home Creations mugs.
Definitely.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, we love
Little
drinking out of the mugs of our partners and our
Yeah.
guests and everything. So yeah, you bet.
T-shirts, hats, whatever you got, we'll take it. We'll
I'll
wear
have to
it.
send you guys some merch this week.
That's right. All right, so hey,
Absolutely.
yeah, let's get into the interview. So
Yeah, let's-
as you guys watch this today, make sure you type in any questions that you have in the comment section. So as I said, our topic today is new home builders, and that means you can ask anything you would normally, question. That's different when you buy a resale from another home.
Correct.
What am I getting, benefit wise out of a new home build, for example, or what's some of the latest technology that new home builds are dealing with?
That's right.
Those kind of questions. So whatever you come up with, throw them in the chat, and we'll get to it.
That's right. So Levi, tell us a little bit about yourself and Home Creations.
Yeah, so obviously I'm Levi Fox. I'm a new home sales consultant for Home Creations. I've been there for coming up or over a year now, about a year and a half, and it's been awesome. Kind of our mission is to provide home ownership to all Oklahomans. Some of the benefits of going with a new home builder is we have things like preferred lenders, and we build with such volume that it's a little bit easier for us to do things to allow home ownership for people that typically couldn't afford, a used home or going with a different company or things like that.
That's perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Because a lot of your homes are very well priced for
Yeah.
affordability.
Yeah, I know you have
Yep.
different levels of different types of builds. So let's get into some of that, and then also kind of from my understanding, is always in the past when I went to buy my first home and I was looking around, and this was in the early 2000s. My big thought was energy efficiency, and the reason why. It's 100 degrees in the summer, man. It can get pretty hot. I want to keep that cold air inside, not outside.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about, the history of Home Creations when it comes to energy efficiency.
Yeah, so we kind of pride ourselves on our structural integrity and then our energy efficiency. So some of the things that we do to keep our homes more energy efficient are just the things that we do behind the walls, and then just some of the features we throw in. So we'll do R44 insulation, which is just a really high R rating of insulation. Through the attic, we'll blow in 16 inches of it. It's one of the last steps we do so people aren't crawling through there and compromising the depth of the insulation. Some things we do, tankless hot water heaters. That is huge. People don't realize what a big 40-gallon tank that's sitting and pumping hot water all day, every day, what that does to your monthly energy bill. So we'll do a Navian tankless hot water heater. It has a coil that the water will pass through. So it's, for one, you never run out of hot water, which is nice. But for two, it'll save you a ton of money on your monthly energy bill. But yeah, just all those different things like that. We'll do radiant barrier decking through the attic, which will keep all your units running efficiently. It'll keep the attic up to 30 degrees cooler. And when people are looking at a home, especially first-time home buyers, those are things that they don't really think about, they're so caught up on what the monthly mortgage payment's going to be, but they don't think about all those other little fees that come in monthly from owning a home. So if you can limit those as much as possible, it's just going to put you in a better situation. And it's not going to, you're not going to be sitting in a 100-degree house, which is nice.
Absolutely.
I'll say. So what did you guys, and this is, you may not know this, because I know this has kind of been a new thing, but do you have an idea when you guys started the radiant barriers? Because when I had my home built, or when I bought my home in 2005, it didn't have any. And I said, I did some research back then on that. And I said, I don't any, so I'm gonna make a poor man's version. And I bought like this huge roll of aluminum foil at Sam's, big rolls, and went up there and just stapled it everywhere on the ceiling, on the rafters. And I said, "Boom, I've got
Done.
my radiant barrier."
Did it do a good job?
Yeah, actually, I did notice a difference in my cooling bill in the summer. I was surprised. So
That's hilarious. Well,
yeah,
we won't use tinfoil. We'll use
okay,
the real deal. As far as how long we've been doing the radiant barrier, I'm not sure. As long as I've been there, so
Okay.
coming up on a couple years now at least.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say we've kind of changed a lot over the last few years. So
okay, good.
at least 2 years.
So you guys are always looking for new ways then to increase the home efficiency. You don't just stop it and go, okay, we've done it all. You're always looking for new technology to implement.
Absolutely. We've been in business for over 40 years, and a big part of that is because, we can fluctuate with the markets when they reset. We'll add, the new top of the line materials or energy efficiency, features and things like that. And that's allowed us to do really well for a really long time.
Okay.
So when you talk about energy efficiency, is that the HERS rating?
Yes. So what a HERS rating is, and a lot of people don't know what HERS ratings are, but it's
Mm-hmm.
just a home energy rating system. So
Okay.
they come in and they just measure how efficient your home is working, from the units in the attic to all the different things that are in your home. And
Mm.
you get a HERS rating. The lower that number is, the more energy efficient your home is. So all of our homes are going to hover between 42 and 47 on the HERS scale, and that's
Okay.
huge. We go in, and what we do is we will measure. There's a HERS rating for every individual home. It's not, we don't just put the HERS rating on there. This is probably 45. Every single home that we sell will have its own specific HERS rating, so you can see, how efficient of a home you're buying, and it's metrified. So clients are able to see that and say, okay, my home's a 42. That is about as low as you can possibly get on the HERS scale, which is nice
Oh.
to just have that metric.
So where does home creations stack up in that field, like number wise?
Compared to other builders, if we're not the most energy efficient home builder, we're definitely, on par with the most energy efficient home builder. They don't really get lower than 42. I've never heard of a home builder go under 42 for the HERS ratings.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, if we're not number one, then we're definitely right there with number one.
Good.
Okay, so and there may not be a good answer. You may not know, but is there a difference between energy efficient home builders? Say there's another major company here in town that's been building for a while and they claim they're energy efficient. You guys are energy efficient. You guys like have an internal rivalry and say, well, they did this year, so we're gonna do that plus this. I don't know. Is there anything you guys kind of hang your hat on? You say, hey, we win. At least in this category.
Yeah, Aaron, I don't get to call very many shots when it comes to what we're putting in the homes, but there is kind of a little bit of a competition between home builders and the energy efficiency thing. I see a lot of home builders that will promote, we are the most energy efficient home builder in
Mm.
Oklahoma. And
Nice.
really, I don't know how they metrify that, but if you go off the HERS ratings, I always say we are the most energy efficient home builder. But
Excellent.
Like it.
yeah, yeah, there's definitely competition there, and but the things we do behind the walls, I haven't been to another home builder that's done anything like what we're doing as
Mm,
far as
that's good.
just
Good. Well, you did
and
mention behind the walls.
Yes.
So why don't we transition from that into literally what is behind the walls? So can you
The
tell us
yeah.
structural.
about the structural side of a new home build?
Yeah. We pride ourselves on just building a well built home. So we'll do things. We use a modified pier on grade foundation. To my knowledge, we're the only home builder that uses that specific foundation. But we'll bore piers 6 feet into the ground, which just we have one of the lowest foundation fail ratings. It's far less than 1%. I think it's 0.00001% is what our
Mm.
foundation fail rating is. So,
Hmm.
a
That's
lot of
great.
people, when they're going to buy a home, they are not thinking, I want a really cool foundation. I want my
Right.
foundation to wow my guests. But that's huge. You know, the foundation of your home is probably the most important part of your home. So I always say, if you go, you know, everybody else does the post tension slab. So having that specific foundation to Oklahoma soil, it just helps a lot. It will give you peace of mind, and just the longevity of your home is going to be greatly improved. You know, using.
Absolutely. I agree.
And then from the foundation, you go into the framing of the house, and I'm assuming you use anchor bolts, and they're every, I don't know, at one point code I think was 2 feet, and then I think maybe 18. I'm not sure what it is now, as far as how those are connected, just kind of help the
Yeah.
structural integrity.
We'll do the anchor bolts through the footing, and then we'll do tornado straps on every single rafter of the home. So just kind of keeps the home nice and tight. There's a lot of high winds and things like that in Oklahoma, so that just adds to the how solid of a home you have.
And with
Um,
hold on real quick before you go to your next point. For those that don't know, the tornado straps or hurricane straps actually is a pretty neat idea, because what they found out in engineering structural investigations was typically the reason why a lot of the home damage occurs is due to a breach in the structural integrity, which typically occurs from the lifting mechanism of the roof, you know, a corner of the roof from the house. And a favorite area from that usually is like in the garage as a failure point. If the garage door gets busted in, you have a creation of high and low pressure. And so that's going to cause a problem that's going to kind of lift the roof off the house. So having these on there actually should, in theory, engineering wise, help overcome that weakness when you do have a tornado or high straight line winds that do come in, that kind of help keep that integrity more sound. So that's a good idea to put in.
yeah, no, that's an awesome. I've never heard that, Aaron, but that I'm definitely going to start telling people that.
I met your owners. Gosh, it was 2007. I was
Wow.
yeah, 2007. I was doing like this neighborhood talk. I was emceeing it, and so I met them, and they talked to me. And that's what they were coming out with. I said, "That is awesome. You know, I like the idea." But it wasn't until years later when I actually came across some studies that actually kind of talked about how typically a home does kind of collapse in that aspect. So they were kind of ahead of the curve. So kudos to them for envisioning something new and different.
Yeah, all those little things are awesome, and people always say, "This is not going to protect my home against a tornado." Well, no, but it's going to help. You know, the lifting and just the shifting of the
Oh, yeah.
frame of your home.
Yeah.
So, myself being from Canada, the structural integrity of a home is very important, and that's because of all the shifting, because of the coldness, all the freezing, and the temperature changes. So I can see how the structural integrity would have to be the same here, given the high winds and the tornadoes. So,
Yeah, and then of course we have the droughts, which will make the ground dry
Right,
up,
that too.
and all of a sudden now you're having to call a peer company come out. But you mentioned kind of going back to the foundation, kind of the way you guys approach that should help to offset the need for that to a degree.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then some of the other little things that we'll do behind the walls as well is we do 16-inch offset studs. A lot of builders will do 24-inch offset studs. So just more bones to the house, which will add to the equity. We'll use an OSB board on the outside of that. So it's just, you know, it's kind of the plywood material. It's thicker, it's sturdier, it's going to hold up to Oklahoma winds and droughts and freezing cold temperatures and all the crazy stuff we get in Oklahoma. A lot of other home builders will use almost like a cardboard like material on the outside of their home. And so it's easy to hide that stuff, but it's just
Right.
really nice to have, and it adds to the longevity of your home.
Absolutely.
And let me, because you mentioned something there that caught my attention, and this is going to go, we're going into the red flag. This is what I love. This is part of the Wizard of Oz, behind the curtain. Tell the audience where builders like to cut corners, and then tell us how home creations, you know, from their contractors out there building, how they prevent to make sure that doesn't happen. So kind of a twofold question.
Yeah, heck yeah, I like that question. I've heard of a lot of home builders coming through and de-engineering their foundation to keep their foundation failure rating low enough to where it's not going to affect how many people come and purchase their homes, but it's going to save them money. So what they'll do is they'll come and they'll pull all the rebar out of their foundation, or a certain amount, to where over the course, people are building 100, 200, 300 homes a year. You can save a ton of money, and that's just a corner that they can cut. I've heard different scenarios on termite treatment, and just easier ways to go about that. Because that's another thing when people are coming to buy a home, they're not thinking about how is my home treated for termites, but that's really important. And there's different ways that some home builders will go about cutting corners in that aspect. Let's see, a lot of it's behind the walls, coming through and not putting as much insulation to save money, or doing a cheaper R rating of insulation. Um,
Wow.
all those. Sorry, Jody, keep going.
So is there not a regulation? Is there not a code per se where everybody has to do the same across the board?
No, I don't think so, and I think that's how you get the discrepancies in your energy efficiency.
Right.
There is code for just about everything, and I'm sure every single home to close has to have that termite treatment certification. But
Right.
there's different termite treatments that are lower in compared to what we're doing and things like that. So just
Okay.
there's a lot of ways to cut corners in home building, and so it's important to find a home builder that hasn't been blacklisted, for one, has been doing it for a long time, has
Hmm.
built that reputation, and just has delivered a superior product to every single client they sell to.
That's great. So there's you mentioned a blacklist. How does one find that blacklist?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways one can find a blacklist, and this will kind of lead me to my next point, which you
Yeah.
guys I think will enjoy. Is if cutting realtors out of deals, you can find a
Mm,
brokerage's blacklist really quick, um, doing things
mm,
like that. And so, can I speak on that a little bit and kind of what we
Yeah,
do
yeah, for
with
sure.
our realtors
absolutely.
to take care of our people? So that is
Yes.
huge. So I'm sure there's a lot of realtors that are listening to this, and I have a ton of realtor friends, and I work
Mm-hmm.
really closely with realtors. I came to y'all's brokerage, or I've came
Mm-hmm.
to a few times and brought y'all pizza and tried to take care of my people, because you guys bring me clients. So it's super important to me, specifically with home
Mm-hmm.
creations, to take care of my realtors, because without y'all, I wouldn't sell very many homes, truly. And so
Mm-hmm.
there's kind of a disconnect sometimes between real estate agents and new home sales consultants, or new home builders in
Mm-hmm.
general. And a lot of that is because of cutting people out of deals, even when they've procured cause, things like that. One thing that I always tell my realtors is we have the highest percentage of realtors on every transaction of any home builder by a ton, by 10 or 15%. So
Mm-hmm.
we're extremely realtor friendly. And from the day I started at Home Creations, my ownership, my supervisors, they told me, go reach out to realtors, take care of realtors, build this working relationship with as
Mm-hmm.
many realtors as you can, because that's going to set you up for success. And um, and that's one of the reasons Home Creations has done so well for so long, is because we've never been blacklisted by the real estate community. And things like that, and
Mm-hmm.
that helps specifically, but it's created a lot of longevity for the company as well.
Absolutely. And I agree with that. I mean, you're in the sales business, you're promoting your product. And I think having the relationships, very much like lenders, lenders have to have relationships with realtors. Why not home builders?
Absolutely.
No different. Just like us making relationships with others as well. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's all
unfortunately,
about networking.
unfortunately, in some of the builders, it's becoming more common just because of the way the economy is right now. And to me, that speaks more on the ethic and moral and integrity side of why would you want to prevent somebody from putting food on their table when they're doing the job that they're hired to do? And it just rubs me wrong. And so that's not just as a realtor, as an individual. So yeah, so it's good that you guys step up to the plate and you make sure that's a priority with the
That's
company.
right.
So let's talk about that process, right?
The whole buying process.
Yeah. So let's say, listen, it said we've got
Clients.
we've got old Joe here, and Joe's looking for a home, and either new or resell. And we said, well, let's take a look. Let's see what matches your criteria. And we look at a few houses, and all of a sudden we're looking more toward new home builds now because he can't find what he needs in the
Right.
resale because the market's tight, right? It's low inventory. And he says, all right, well, guess what? We have this Home Creations that just came online. It looks great, fits your criteria. Bonus, there's some incentives there too. But before we even get to that, just kind of talk us through the buying process that might be a little bit different. Going from like buying your neighbor's home, for example.
Yeah. No, the buying process is super fluid and honestly pretty easy. So kind of my process is I like to sit down with the realtor and the buyer together, and even put the lender on the phone. Just so everybody is in direct communication. There's no middlemen. The client is getting everything right there. So sit down, just kind of do a discovery phase. Ask, what are you guys looking for? Why are you moving? What's your current situation? Have you spoken with the lender? All the questions. That gives me a good gauge of what to show, and where they should be looking, price points, size, things like that. And then, we'll go look at the realtor will always schedule one home to be shown, and then I end up showing 15 of them.
True.
So,
welcome to our world.
Yeah, more
That's
options are better than no options. But
Absolutely.
we'll find a perfect home. We'll go through multiple floor plans, sometimes multiple communities, and things like that until we've settled on the perfect one. And once they're ready to move on it, we do. It's a $2,000 earnest money, which is pretty standard. Our earnest money is refunded back to the buyer at close. So that can usually go towards down payment or whatever other costs are associated with closing on that house. So $2,000 refundable earnest money. All of our paperwork we do in-house. So we'll use the Home Creations contracts and addendums. But I'll fill that out and then, send it over to you guys. Or if you guys are in person, you guys look it over. And once you give the go, we'll just sign it up, and then process after you've written the contract and submitted the earnest money is we'll have a homeowner's orientation a couple weeks out from close, where the client will come in and just go through the home, and our customer care team will be there, and they will teach you how to work your video doorbell and your app enabled garage door opener, and they'll go over all the different features of the home, and tell you about them, but also teach you how to work them and how to take care of them, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of people love that phase because you get that roll of blue tape, and you can mark up anything that's noticeably damaged or not finished.
Sure.
But it really is unoriented, so it gives the client a way to get into the home before they move in and understand the home and know all the features and how they work, and most importantly, how to take care of them.
And before we go on real quick, because we didn't talk about this before we got into this part of it, was the technology side. And
Yes.
you just mentioned that, and I didn't even think to ask that earlier. But like Bluetooth phone controlled garage door. Are there anything else like that kind of on the tech side you guys are doing recently?
Yeah, keyless entry on a bunch of our collection's doors. That's nice. If you lock you'll never lock your keys out again. And for me, that's important because a history of doing that.
Until that battery dies. I've had on my keyless door where one time it just dies. And I'm like, oh no, how am I getting in that house? How am I getting into my house?
Right.
But I always had a key. Yeah.
Well, is your situation, tapped into electrical system with the battery backup? Or do you even know is to that level?
I really honestly don't. I wish I had an answer. I'm sure it's a battery operated thing. I'm sure it's not tapped actually,
for the door anyways.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other technological stuff you guys are throwing in? I'm always surprised how we're inching closer and closer to Minority Report, where I'm just going to walk in and then it's going to say, "Hello, Aaron," and then all of a sudden all the lights going to kick on and it's going to make
Music.
my music's going to kick on. It's going to make my dinner for me. We're getting there, but one step at a time.
Yeah, some of the other technology we do, Samsung appliances come standard in all of our homes. So microwave, oven, range top, and dishwasher, and then the Samsung oven or ranges are really cool now. It's not the glass burner that your cheese will burn on and you got to scrape it off. It lifts up so it's easy to clean. It has a griddle in the middle of it, a separate, and then it's a 4-burner. So just really good products there. Those are covered under warranty as well, but Samsung comes standard in all of our homes.
Oh, I like it.
Okay, so go ahead.
So I have a home buyer. They want to come through, but they're not quite liking some of the features that are in this home, but they like some features in another home. And they have some time. Can they sit down and do a new home build and sort of customize some of their items that they're wanting?
Absolutely. So we call those, a lot of people call them true customs. Ours are semi-custom. So we call them ground up builds. But with the ground up build, you'll have a color meeting. You go in, you'll pick whatever floor plan you want, the swing of the home. So whether the garage is on the left or the right, that changes the orientation of everything. And then you'll go in, you'll have a color meeting. So you go in and you pick out your tops, your tiles, your exterior paint, interior paint, what elevation of home. So whether it's all brick or half brick, more siding, all that is super customizable, and a lot of clients have fun with it. And one thing that I always encourage people that's timeline is a little bit further out is find a floor plan that you like that's a slab, because you have that full ability and freedom to customize all of your finishes and things like that, as long as there hasn't been electricals ran through the home. So if you find one at frame that doesn't have the electrical ran through it, then you can still have that color meeting and do kind of a semi-custom option on it.
Okay. Good. So if I want to change some lighting, that's an option.
Yeah.
Flooring, all that. Okay.
Yeah, different floorings. We'll use wood look tile throughout, and then carpet in the bedrooms. But carpet's customizable. The lighting package you go with is customizable. All that stuff, and people have a lot of fun with those. They stress me out, but some people love to get pick all of it.
I bet.
And here's where I always get irritated with home builders, and that is where the locations of the cable and phone jacks are. It's like they pick one room and that's it. The other 4 rooms don't exist, and now you've got to go and run stuff in the wall post build. That always infuriates me. So how do you guys approach that?
Yeah, no, Aaron, we do the coax cables in every single bedroom and living room. So you have plenty of them. As far as the location on that, it seems pretty methodical. Like they seem like they're in pretty smart places in the home, but I don't want to speak on it too much because, that may differ from somebody else's opinion. But we do have the coax cable in every single room. So I've had clients that came in and they were big gamers or they worked from home, and that's one of the things I always point out is, hey, you're going to have awesome connection everywhere in this home.
Good.
Absolutely. That's good.
Because, people are going more and more toward Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi 6, but it's always good to have a hard line. Like, for example, our interview here we're doing is on a roll-up, a Cat 5 cable, or Cat 6, I forget which one it is, just so that we have a good hard connection, just in case there's some drop, on the internet side you don't want to have to deal with when you're doing a live interview. So that kind of helps that out. But I want to go back to your question.
Well, we're AT&T now, so.
Well, yeah, we got rid of Cox cable,
we shouldn't be having dropping issues.
Not anymore. Don't jinx it, knock on wood. So come
on,
I'm on AT&T fiber. Okay, we just made an AT&T fiber commercial just then. All right, so let's go on to just to wrap up what you were saying, because it's kind of important. What's the timeline now for someone who does come in at the very beginning stage of the slab pour?
Right.
It's okay, we want to do more of a custom build for us based off of what you guys offer. What's the timeline from that start to finish?
Yeah, I always write it up for 8 to 9 months. and
Okay.
then
That's not bad.
and I would say 9 months. That's more on the further end of it, but it's better to assume later than before, and then people are disappointed if something happens, like a
Sure.
concrete plant shuts down. We have that delays it a couple weeks. So
Sure.
I always say 9 months for a completely ground up build.
And you guys are now far enough away from post COVID to where their supply chains are all back to normal and getting, for example, an electrical box of all things at one point apparently was hard to get,
Or brick.
or brick.
Yeah.
So has all that resolved itself?
For the most part, I think we still sometimes see ripple effects from COVID, even to today, But for the most part, yeah, the supply chain has kind of leveled out nicely, and we're back to being able to build things super efficiently, fast, and meeting deadlines and timelines. I haven't had any trouble with it in a while, so that has been nice that that's kind of shifted
Good.
and leveled back out.
So tell us where you're building.
Yeah, so we build all over the Oklahoma City metro. So we'll build as south as Norman, Moore, Newcastle. We'll build as north as Piedmont, Mustang, Yukon, Edmond, Deer Creek areas.
Okay.
But we're breaking ground in Hera. We have a community in Chickasha. Um, Choctaw, just all over the OKC metro. If you can name it, we probably have something we've built there.
You might want
Okay.
to, just from our personal experience, you might want to start branching out closer to Guthrie because there's a lot of people now moving on the north side
Yeah.
of Edmond. And once you get too far north of Edmond, you're in Guthrie.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
It's true.
yeah. So that's a hot
my
spot.
my community was Piedmont, which is kind of up there, and
Yeah.
I throughout my time in Piedmont, I slowly saw people they wanted the outskirts, so just slowly
Yes.
shifting from the Edmond area to those outskirt parts, Guthrie and
Yeah.
Piedmont areas like that.
Oh, absolutely.
So you talked about some of the different materials that you guys can use. I'm assuming that relates to like collections. In other words, you have two or three or four different styles of homes or offers that you have build wise. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So we have different collections of homes. So we have our village collection, a Wellington collection, an elite collection, and then a signature collection. A little bit about those. They're all going to be built with the same energy efficiency features, the same structural integrity. We're going to do that on all of our builds. What's going to be different is going to be the finishes, the size, things like that. So our village are going to be our smaller homes. And they're going to range from 1,100 square feet up to about 1,500 square feet,
Okay.
and they'll have almost all the features we use in every single home. Some of the things they won't have is they won't have a fireplace, they won't have like a soaker tub or things like that.
Okay.
Our Wellingtons are going to start having all the finishes in them, and higher square footage, so 1,500 square feet up to almost 2,600 square feet on the Wellington. We have 45 different floor plans, and I'm sure
Wow.
Oh.
30 of those are Wellington floor plans.
Okay.
So we have our elites. Elites are going to be the Wellington floor plan we're just going to throw tons of, pack tons of cool features and things like that in them. So touchless water faucets.
Nice.
Let's see. Just, yeah, cool features like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
All
And
walk-in showers.
what is your starting point for your base entry
Price point, you mean?
price points? Yeah,
Okay.
your starting point for like your 1,100 square foot home.
Yeah, so in my community now, which is in Mustang, I have a Dahlia floor plan, 1,100 square feet, and it is 224,990.
Wow. So someone can get into a brand new house at 224,990.
Okay.
Yes, and
That's
that's a
great.
great starter option because you get that low price point, and our as home creations, now that we've done all these price adjustments and things like that, we're kind of in our own market of new home building, especially with our village collection, because you have I don't even want to say names, but you have other home builders that are going to be, around the 200,000 price point for that square footage, but they're not going to have any features in them. They're going to have laminate
Oh,
flooring, formica countertops, tank water heaters,
sure. Yeah, I
but
get
they're a
it.
little lower. And then we have other home builders that are going to be that, square footage. They're going to be higher priced for the same finishes you get with home creation. So we kind of
Mm,
adjusted to where we're in our own specific, market for that price point, which has been
Okay.
super popular.
And then for those that want they want everything, bells and whistles. Give me the best you got, the biggest you got, etc. What's the upper end of the range?
For price points, I'm not completely sure. Probably close to 500,000 for signature. They
mm,
may go above that. They may go a little bit
right.
below that, but I would say probably close to 500 for, our top of the line
Yeah.
signature homes in our Valdera community. Probably
Okay.
all around 500K.
Okay, so you can basically handle a wide range of clients from single person living at home to a family of 10.
Yeah.
Everything
Now,
else.
I just have one question. We have a Evan McMahon that's asking if Home Creations does any modulars.
Modulars. I am not sure.
Okay.
I'm really not, but I can get an answer and I'll text it over to you after this.
Absolutely. So, Evan, thank you for your question. We'll have that answer over to you.
And Evan, you asked a good question that we could have answered really well with our last guest on the title side of things. And so
Yes.
we'll find out and we'll DM you offline
Yeah.
and give you all information you need to know in case you have any follow ups on that.
So, I see around town a lot of billboards with Home Creations where closing costs are included. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we have another perk of going with new construction is we have preferred lenders that really want our business. We sell, a high volume of homes, so they will go above and beyond to do things just to get us to use them, which is awesome. It plays in y'all's favor, your client's favor, my favor, home creation's favor. And so what we do is we have a few that we've partnered up with, but they will cover all closing costs. One specifically that we work with will cover closing costs and then offer 1.35% of the total purchase price to go towards interest rate buy downs or prepaid costs at close, things like that. And on a home that's $400,000, there's an extra what, close to $5,000,
Of
just to buy
course.
a rate down, and that can improve your buying power significantly, or it can just make you more comfortable in the home that you did decide to go with.
So, how are you finding the market right now for new home builds? Like in your where your community is.
We are really good about adjusting what we do to kind of work with the market. So
Okay.
I haven't, honestly, I've sped up the last couple of weeks as
Mm-hmm.
interest rates have gone up and been hovering around 7%.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people will go away from a used home and they're drawn towards new construction because we can do things to offset that, that difference that the interest rate creates.
Right. Good
So
point. Mm-hmm.
we
So,
were
Rook,
doing,
go
keep
ahead.
going. I was just saying we're doing different incentives to help with that. For one, our lender covering the 1.35% helps a ton with that monthly mortgage payment and then just the
Right.
buying power. But I've had people that have came in and they didn't really know how they were going to make it work, but they really wanted to try and make it work to own over rent. And just working with my supervisors and my lenders and just
Mm-hmm.
finding avenues and ways to make that possible for people. um,
Perfect.
so it's kind of sped us up a little bit, I think.
So I have a question. I have home buyers. You said you work in the Mustang area, but my clients might be looking in Deer Creek.
Yeah.
Now, how do they get connected with you, or do they work with a different representative? Do you register them somewhere? How does that work?
Yeah, we register all of our clients, and honestly, usually how it works is everybody on our sales team. We are a team, and we help each other out. And so, if I'm not available to show in my Edmond community, I can call Kurt, who's the community manager there, and he will be more than happy to help show. So there's always going to be somebody to show your clients homes and things like that.
Okay.
But I would register them with me if you guys reached out to me.
Right.
And then for the most part, I would, be your number one point of contact, and I would meet you at the different communities if they were interested in another community.
I see.
Things
So
like
then
that.
they're registered. So say I'm not with them, but they go out one evening wanting to look. They're still registered in the system, correct?
Yes. If you
Okay.
reached out to me and said, "Hey, I got a client, Joe, over here
Yeah.
that's looking at Mustang," and you and Joe come out and he's like, "I like Edmond more," and
Right.
he went out one day when I wasn't there to look in Edmond, he would still be registered with me, and so we would
Okay.
still be working together.
Okay. Good.
All right, we're getting close to the end here. So,
Yes.
couple of final questions. So, they did go through the process. So, you know
Yes.
what? We couldn't find what we wanted on the resale markets. We went new, and we decided to go with Home Creations. We love the price point. We love the incentives as far as the closing costs, the escrow, the points, buy down, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Saves them a ton of money. They get it to a brand new build, and they say, okay, now the sale's been done. Do you guys just forget about us? So, how's the customer care after the fact?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. So we are a local builder. So we have a 24/7 customer care team that is awesome. They will take care of you. You can call them if you have standing water in your yard for over 24 hours. You can call them at 2 a.m. and they'll come out and install a French drain or do what they need to do. So you're not speaking to a robot on the phone or some, voice machine. You are
Right.
speaking to a human being that knows our product and has dealt with probably a really similar situation, and it can help you to get or it helps clients, gives them a peace of mind, to know that after the fact they are covered under warranty. There is a phone number they can call, and then
Good.
me specifically, if I'm your sales consultant, I build relationships with everybody I sell homes to, whether it's the realtor, the client. That's why I do this, is to help people and try to build those relationships and improve our community. And
Sure.
so my phone is always on me and my phone is always ringing, and I am more than happy to help all of my clients after the fact.
Excellent. Love that.
Good deal.
So, Home Creations, how long have they been in business for?
I believe 43 years. It's either 42 or 43 years that we've been in business.
Okay.
So
And
we've
then
been
tell
doing
us
it
about. Oh, sorry. I was tying in the community impact as well with Home
Yeah.
Creations.
So our owners are super charitable. They go to a ton of like philanthropic events and things like that. And I don't have a number for it, but if you Google the Farzanis, they're wonderful people, and they have made a huge impact on our community here in Oklahoma. A huge
Good.
impact. They have done so much for our community.
That's great.
Yeah.
I love that.
I know. So
This has really been good.
yeah, it just kind of talks about the integrity and
Yeah.
the way that the company approaches everything, right? From the
Right.
client to the community, and not just for the sale, but even assistance to help the sale on the financial side. But then after the fact, the customer care. That way, if anything goes wrong or anything was overlooked or there was a mistake, you guys are quick to correct it and help the homeowner out. So,
Love it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all about relationships.
That's right.
So,
Absolutely.
all right. Hey, Levi, you did great, man. Appreciate your
thank you.
time and giving us the backstory, not only on your company, Home Creation, but just in new home builds in general.
Right.
There's always a lot of questions in that world, so you answered a ton of them. So appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me on. I love starting my day talking about Home Creations with y'all.
And then
Excellent.
how does someone get in touch with you?
You can send me a text, give me a call. Can I drop my phone number
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this?
go for it.
Absolutely.
Just call me 405-764-3104.
What was that number again?
405-764-3104.
Perfect.
I'm sure I'll be tagged in this, so you can reach out to
Yes.
my Home Creations Facebook page.
Yeah.
Find me on any social medias. I'm known for some of these goofy videos. If you find me, I don't know if you guys have seen them, but if you guys find me on social media, TikTok or Instagram. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and
Okay.
hopefully we can work together soon.
And then
sure.
your area is in Mustang, so people can go find you in Mustang.
Yeah, I have a model home that I sit in Monday through Sunday with a couple days off in there, 11 to 6. So
Good.
come out and see me, send me a text, and I'd love to meet with anybody that's watching this right now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we've seen the Mustang area down there because we had some clients
Yeah.
that wanted Mustang, and then we had one that was selling a home in Mustang. So yeah,
Yes.
we've seen that area blow
It's
up.
beautiful,
There's
yeah.
a lot
Yeah,
going
it's
on down
been
there.
popular.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, thank you so much.
You bet, Levi. Hey, thanks again for stopping by this weekend and for doing the interview and letting us know everything about home creations.
Yeah.
Of course. Thank you guys for having me.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care. Enjoy.
Bye.
Excellent.
That was good.
Yeah. Oh, I love these interviews.
Yeah, you learn so much, and we help educate everybody else too. That
Yeah. And
might
we
be
learn.
sitting on the fence.
Yeah, and sometimes we learn something ourselves. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's why we ask all these questions, because otherwise, when are you going to get a chance to sit down for 30
Right.
minutes or 45 minutes with an actual person that can tell you the insides and outsides of everything that goes on in that business and
That's
give you an
right.
honest answer?
Yeah, I
So,
know.
it's
I
good
know.
stuff.
So
All
it's
right.
good.
Well, hey, this is going to wrap up our edition
Yeah.
of Team Tuttle Realty for this
Yeah,
Saturday.
thank you.
Now, we don't always have a live interview. Sometimes it's just again the topic of the day.
That's right.
And then if like holidays and stuff, when we're not around, you can always look into the video section on our YouTube page or Facebook. And then you'll be able to pick out any interview that we've done in the past or any of the hot topics that we've covered. That way you can get educated, find something that interests you.
Yeah.
And our goal here is to not waste your time or our time. Everybody's time is valuable. And so
Yeah.
we want to make sure you get the, that information that's suitable, that's going to help, complete your day. In other words, I don't want you to watch something and go, boy, that was a waste of my time. That's
Right.
not how I work. It better be worth every minute, right?
Or if you know somebody that might benefit from watching any of our videos,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
share them.
If you got people talking about anything in real estate, have them look through that list. You look through the list and share it with them. When it comes, though, for the situation where you're in a point where maybe someone is talking about, selling or buying a home, have them reach out to us.
Yes.
So we'd love to help them, or just have a conversation,
Yeah.
help guide them, steer them, give them, what they need to know to get started in the
Right.
process.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're here to help.
Well, how can they reach us?
They can reach us through our phone number. They can call or text us, 405-467-1785. TeamTuttleRealty.com is our website. Email Jody at Team Tuttle Realty, Aaron at Team Tuttle Realty. So
Yeah, there's multiple
very
ways.
easy.
Message us on Facebook. We're
Yeah.
around. So what I always laugh about is I'm exhausted. The weather business never ends. It's 24/7, 365. Of course, that's my day job. And then so I thought, no, I'll just get a side job where I keep the same thing going 365. So
That's
yeah,
right.
as realtors, yeah.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, honey. She goes, I'm a realtor. Let's be realtor together. I'm like, oh. So, no, it's at least I'm used to it. So, yeah, if you get, if it's up over the weekend or in the evenings, whatever, just shoot us a message and we'll get
Yeah.
back to you as soon as we
Good.
can. All right, well, that's it for this episode.
Yeah,
Make sure you
thank
join
you.
us the next time we join live, and make sure you grab your cup of Joe. Appreciate you guys watching, and have a great rest of your day.
Hi.
Morning coffee, vanilla latte served to go. I drink it slow. Morning coffee, cappuccino.